Hello, welcome to the show! This is Hack Hunter, where we review some of the best and worst tattoo artists that are in your city. Now, in this episode, we got an email from a lady named Alyssa, and she wanted our help finding a blackwork artist there in Fort Wayne, Indiana. She's also looking for an artist that knows how to do fine line stuff. So I set the team on it, and we found some real talent out there in Fort Wayne. You guys got some killers out there, for sure. But there's only one artist we want to talk about for this one. Enter Nancy Callahan. You can find her at The Painted Lady there in Fort Wayne, The Painted Lady FW on Instagram. They got a great roster of artists as well, some real talent there as well, so definitely check them all out. But if you want to see hers, Arenata is what she goes by on Instagram. Definitely do your own research, but let me show you guys the highlights. Bam! Look at this Medusa piece. Awesome. Now, there's a couple things in here that made me want to showcase this one first, because there's some real skill that I see here. The smooth gray wash, how smooth that blending is right there. The only way to get gray wash that smooth and that clean takes time, and you have to find an artist that's willing to spend that time. Now, gray wash can be whipped in a lot quicker, but a lot of times, and we've seen it on this show a lot, you get streaking, you get choppiness, you get all this kind of etchy look to it that you don't want. And so right here shows me that she's really taking her time to apply the tattoo well. It also shows me with this piece that she takes the time to design them very well, because she put the scales on the entirety of the body of each snake. Now, so many times in this show, we just see these cheap little scales, little etching, little just kind of crappy effects that kind of imply scales, but she did the full scale on the full body of each snake, and I just really love to see that when artists put in the actual time and energy that's required. Also, when I zoom in on one of these snakes, that little stippling effect there, that dot work she did, it's just really, really clean stuff. Love to see it. Throughout her whole portfolio, I saw work like this where she just does really, really tight, small, ornate detail. Look at the handle of that knife. My God, what a nightmare. I would not want to have to do that. But she drew that knowing that she was going to tattoo it that way as well. So I give her major props, especially when I look at the blade of the knife. Look at that. Look how far I can zoom in and it's still super clean line work. You're not getting blowout or thicker lines or anything. When artists use really fine lines like this, you guys, if you're not an artist, you got to understand, if we go slightly too deep, the line will become bolder. If we go slightly too shallow, the line will become kind of thinner and fainter and the ink won't stay. And so when I see how smooth these lines are, that means she has got a robot steady hand. It's just really, really clean work. I like the fade out she did here on the ribbons. Added little effect here. She faded out the lines and just left no lines in the center there, so that when you zoom out, it looks really, really soft and smooth, and that ribbon looks like it's flowing real nice and natural. Really great detail to add. So in her portfolio, I kept coming across a lot of these kind of haunted houses or abandoned looking houses, and she just does a great job. I can tell you, any artist who's had to do a house or a cabin in the woods or whatever it may be knows that there's so many perfectly straight lines, there's so many perfectly parallel lines in houses that can just make them a complete nightmare for any artist, but she makes it look really effortless here, and I love the way she designed it as well too, and I know she designed it because there's so many different custom designed houses in her portfolio. Before I show you any more though, I want to point out this speckling effect she did behind the moon here. I think a lot of artists might have took the quick route and just used a mag shader and textured a sky behind it. It would have took a lot less time than doing the dot work like she did, but I just love to see that she chose to do the dot work. It stays true to the style of art that she does, but also it shows you that she's going to put in a lot of time and energy for each one of these pieces. You could really just tell that she wants each one to look really, really perfect and clean. Here's another great example of it, all the small details up there in the house, and then the cat with the third eye. I love the detail. I really like how this broom turned out. Again, it's a testament to how clean and smooth and intentional her line work is. It's really, really great. Also the white work. It's something that I almost didn't really recognize at first flipping through her portfolio, but she's really great at putting white work in these little kind of pop places where they really pop out at you. It's not a lot of it, it's not mind-blowing, but she puts it in these really ideal spots and right where it should be and not too much of it. And so I really appreciated that as I flipped through. This one I was really impressed with because it's opaque gray, meaning the color gray. For those of you guys that don't know, gray wash is when we dilute black to create lighter tones of black, but opaque gray is the actual color gray. So it takes a lot longer to apply opaque gray, but it creates this cool fade effect in these ghost bodies. And also opaque gray really creates more of a contrasted kind of pop to it, whereas gray wash can sometimes look dull and faded, whereas opaque gray is going to have this pop to it. But again, it's a color, so it takes longer to apply. And so again, it's just another thing that lets me know that she's an artist that's going to put in the time and energy for her clients. I saw a lot of these faces. Here's another Medusa. I saw a lot of these faces though throughout her portfolio. She does a great job on them because of her gray wash being so smooth the way it is, or her blending in general. But I want to point out on this one, this backdrop here. This is just another cool added attention to detail. She doesn't want to just put like a soft shade in or just a black backdrop. She really wanted to create something unique and creative in a lot of her pieces, and it really just goes to show she wants all of her artwork to be really clean and unique and to pop out. She doesn't take a quick route on any of this stuff. Here's a piece, again, the faces and figures of these females she does are really, really clean, but I just want to show this hair that flows in front of the neck here. Again, she faded off the same way she did those ribbons, and it really kind of shows you what hair is flowing in front of or behind other hair, and it's just a small little thing that goes such a long way. This piece was just so creative, so cool. I love it. A little cyborg putting his face on. It's really great use of this sort of monochromatic style with the dark red. Just enough of it so that it pops out and it's differentiated from just a regular black and gray piece, but I thought it looked really, really keen. Oh man, This one I had to show because this is on somebody's underarm. This is their armpit up here, if you can tell. And now underarm tattoos can kind of be crappy for us artists to do because the skin under here can be really kind of flabby and stretchy. Well, at least mine is. I don't know about you guys', but usually it's flabby and stretchy under here, and it kind of sucks for us because we don't know how deep is too deep to go with your outliner. How deep is too shallow, right? And so we don't really know that, and especially if the skin is too squishy or elastic, it can be really hard to get consistent lines. But when I zoom in on these eyelashes here, look at how perfectly consistent each one of these is. No blowout, no blurring, no nothing. It's just super clean. Again, just shows a lot about her portfolio. I would give her a hard time about this blood in the eye here. Nancy, give it an extra second. Let that blood dissipate. Get yourself a better picture, but it's a pretty small gripe. Also, I was kind of surprised to see color work in her portfolio, especially super good color work like this. The blending is awesome. The line work is awesome. Yeah, the saturation looks great. And yeah, this little praying mantis looks super happy. It's a goal. Yeah. Hooray. He's so happy. It's awesome. Here's a really cool monochromatic piece. I love this backdrop she did in here. How cool is that? Again, like I said, these backdrops that she puts that's so much time and energy and creativity into planning. I just love to see it. This is the last one I'll show you. Weird little rabbit demon thing. Again, this is on an underarm. This is a person's armpit up here, and you can see all those fine lines, how smooth they are. So, like I said, guys, her application technique is just second to none. Just a phenomenal artist. Absolutely somebody you would approve of. Now, stick around, guys. If you live in Fort Wayne, you're going to want to check out part number 2, where we found an artist you're probably going to want to avoid. All right, here we go.